Hey guys, today we have a Roper, which is made by Whirlpool washer. It's a direct drive washer, one of my favorite styles because it's going to fill all the way up with water. We have the setting here on Super Plus. You've got a 2-part agitator, and if you lean the lid back too far, it shuts it off. But on this one here, it's going to fill all the way up. Let me see if I can lean this back without it shutting off. You got a 2-part agitator, so the fins on the bottom plate go one way, this goes the other way, and it really mixes those clothes up. Got some towels in here. Does an excellent job getting your clothes actually clean. You've got a little bleach dispenser there, and several options here, but I just kind of set it and let it rock and roll all the way through the normal cycle. It's got 4-speed combinations, which means it can actually spin slow, spin fast. It can agitate slow, agitate fast. So you do have some options, and these are just built like tanks. They work really well, and I try to keep these going and get as many of these as I possibly can. So super happy that this one's in the shop today. We're going to pair it up with the newer dryer, but first I'm going to show you that everything on this one's working perfect. Now the lid switch has been bypassed on this, and so if you lift this up, it's not going to shut it down. So might just keep that in mind if you have little kids. But otherwise, it does also allow you to throw an extra piece of clothing in there. Just obviously don't stick your arm in there when it's spinning. But anyway, so we'll let that fill all the way up with water, and we will come back. Now, for the hookup of your washer, you might consider a set of steel braided hoses like this pack here. I've got a link to both of these in the description. If you have trouble finding it, you can just click that. Also supports the channel, so we really appreciate that. But you can see here you've got blue for cold water, red, so it's easy to keep them apart. Now the steel braided is important because the cheap rubber ones have a tendency to swell and burst, and you definitely don't want that happening, especially if you're not home. And then a surge protector, there's many different styles, and I got a couple linked in the description. I kind of like this one because I'm always plugging other things in, but you can also get dedicated ones. You just want to make sure that it's 900 joules or higher, and that's going to protect your washing machine and the electronics on it. This one also has I believe that's a 4-foot cable on it too. So something like that to protect the electronics on it, super important. And this pretty much covers the washer. Okay, so it's filled all the way up with water with this heavy towel load. Now when I lift this up, it's not going to shut it down, but you can see getting started, and I probably could have put another handful of towels in there pretty easily. See how far up that agitator comes. I'm just not a fan of overloading any washer, but this one definitely could have handled a few more. But as you can see there, full submersion, it's sucking them down the middle. It agitates along the bottom plate and spits them back up on the sides. So we'll let that go. I'll show you the drain and the final spin cycle. All right, switched over into the rinse cycle. So draining that water out super fast. And then it'll kick over and spin to extract the used up wash water. Fill all the way back up for the rinse cycle. Agitate for a bit, drain out, and we'll be on to the final spin. All right, while we're waiting on the washer to finish up and kick over into that final spin, I got the dryer good to go over here. And as you can see, they're the fairly odd couple. They sure are. This dryer has a humongous capacity. It's 8 cubic feet or 8.1 or something ridiculous like that. And this washer is like a 3.5, maybe 4, but I think it's 3.5 with that agitator in the middle. So mismatched a little bit. Now I will offer these up separately. However, the bundle pricing is going to be like getting the washer for free for how expensive these dryers are. This is the exact same dryer I have in my own laundry room. It's awesome. I love it. And it works really, really well. Got it running super hot. You got your lint trap here. It actually pulls apart right here, and you just kind of scoop it all out so nothing falls down in there when you pull it up. And as you can see, it is huge. So super clean, just a couple years old on that. But the washer's finishing up now, and then we'll put the clothes in the dryer. But even with both of them running side by side, it's nice and quiet. But all right, I just thought I'd mention that. All right, so the washer's spinning now. And the dryer's a little loud because there's no vent hose on the back of it down there. It's just blowing against the wall. Once you have that vent hose on there, it muffles that, and then you basically can't hear it at all. But here's how loud the washer is on spin. can hear it kicking more and more water out as it spins. Now again, the lid switch has been bypassed, so I can lift this up and it's spinning. You can watch it spin. You can see it'll get to a max RPM speed. Does a pretty good job spinning those clothes out. Nice, balanced, level. Nice and quiet too. Super important you get both of these nice and level. But that's it for the spin cycle. And once it's done, we'll throw those over in the dryer and show that off with everything tumbling around. All right, now when talking about hooking up the dryer, a couple of things you're going to need. You're going to need to find out what type of power cord you're going to need. These are all considered accessories, and they do not come with a new dryer or a used dryer typically. This is a 3-prong power cord. It's like that there. Has 3 hookups for the back, and it's 30 amp. You want to make sure you don't get a 50 amp that has a straight one here. That's for a stove. You want to make sure you get the right one for a dryer. And I've got these linked in the listing description also for you there. Now this is a 4-prong, so it looks a little different, but it still has the L there versus a straight one, because they also sell this in a 50 amp for a stove. Very similar, so you want to make sure you get the right one for a dryer. You can take a picture of your plug in your laundry room and match it up, make sure you get the right one. This goes on the back of the dryer, and then it extends out to wherever your wall hookup is. Super important to make sure you get one. It's easy to use. A lot of them have a flathead screwdriver on it to tighten it down. I like these wings here. You could just do it by hand. It's so much easier because every 3 or 4 months you're going to want to take this off and clean it out, so this makes it a lot easier to do. And then lastly, I always recommend a good dryer sheet, and I do not do fabric softener in any of the washers that I use or the one at home. Fabric softener is like putting glue in your machine. Eventually it gums everything up. Use 2 or 3 of these and you get the same softness effect on your clothes, but it doesn't mess anything up. So that's kind of the essentials there for your dryer. All right, now our washer clean and cleared out. You can see it's got a nice deep tub on it. And close that up. Now we come over here. That load just looks tiny in here, but we'll go ahead and close that up. It's got a nice super bright LED light on it as well. Time dry is fine. We'll just go ahead and hold. We don't even have the temperature up all the way, but I'll show you here in a second with my temperature gun that it is heating. Get nice and hot there. As you can see, you can kind of see it spinning there, tumbling. Sounds great. And then once you get your vent hose on the back, it muffles this. You can kind of hear the blower motor, but see how that sound just completely goes away. Okay, that should be long enough. So we're about 80 on top of the dryer. We'll go ahead and open this up. We're gonna shoot it right inside the heating element tube there. You can see nice and hot coming out of that tube right there. Super important that you make sure your lint trap is clean and clear. That way it's got good airflow that goes through here, down and out the back of the dryer. If that's obstructed or super full of lint and the air kind of hangs out in here, it can cause it to overheat. It can also cause these to take forever to dry. So just as mentioned earlier, super important. You want to make sure that all that gets checked, and your ventilation and stuff outside, all that gets checked as well. We'll go ahead and let that finish up. I'll get these listed up for sale. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. Thanks, you guys have a great day.